following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
How's everybody doing today? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some college football. We're going to talk about, I think I had some baseball I wanted to write down. We're going to talk Titans football, of course, and we're going to end it up with some high school football, high school sports. All the high school football in my area is over with. So, but we are going to finish it off with high school sports as per usual. And the first thing I want to talk about today was the college football playoff, the top four teams. There are a few things I'm just going to throw all together in this one whole realm, and it's basically Tennessee and Tennessee fans. First of all, the top four as it is exactly what it should be. It should be Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, and Georgia. Georgia is the unquestionable number one team in the country in my mind. Now, of course, I know my opinion doesn't mean much to anybody else other than me, and that's okay. But I think Georgia's number one, and I think they're head and shoulders above everybody else. Ohio State and Michigan are two very, very good football teams, and they should be 2 and 3. And then TCU is undefeated in a Power 5 conference, and they've played a really hard schedule, and they've got just as many top 25 wins as Tennessee does. I think the top four makes sense. They're all undefeated. I didn't think TCU would get past Texas. So now, I mean, I give them a little bit more respect than I did a week ago, but I still don't think they're better than Tennessee, but they are undefeated and they deserve their spot. Somebody has to win between Ohio State and Michigan. I think that's going to push Tennessee back up in the top four. I'd really like to see TCU lose too, so Tennessee can get to 3 because I'd rather play Georgia in a national championship instead of a semifinal, but that's neither here nor there. Something else too that's been coming up a lot over the past week or so. There's been an idea, and Tennessee fans have wanted to do it for years now, about Checker Vandy. I'm going to go to the Vanderbilt game at Vanderbilt, and I'm going to wear whatever color I'm supposed to wear for my little section because I think it would be hilarious to Checker Vandy. Now, what I don't understand is there is a certain group of people on Twitter that see this as classless or have an issue with it. I don't care if it's Vanderbilt Senior Day. I guess some of you forgotten in 2017 whenever they planted their flag in Neyland Stadium after beating Tennessee on Tennessee Senior Day. I don't understand why there are Vol fans that care about anybody else's opinion, because for 15 years Tennessee was really, really bad, and then the past few years in other sports especially, they've kind of become villains. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being a villain as far as a Tennessee fan. I'm okay with stepping on everybody else's nerve or feelings. It doesn't really bother me that somebody thinks it's classless to Checker Vandy. Again, Tennessee fans wouldn't be able to do that if they do that. Did my audio just go out? I want to say, I think, okay. My audio's not going out. Sorry. All right, cool. I just don't really understand why Tennessee fans care so much about other people's opinion for no obvious reason now, after years of not caring, and after years of other teams and other fans and national media bashing Tennessee and their fans. I'm just not real sure why anybody cares. So I guess we're going to get to that game and figure it out. Like I said, I'm going to be there and I'm going to wear whatever color I'm supposed to wear for my section. And hopefully I get to see, Tennessee beat Vanderbilt. But the playoff, Tennessee fans, I'm going to say this, and this is not going to make you feel any better. But there is a chance that Ohio State and Michigan ends up being like a 3-point game, and that TCU wins out and Georgia wins out. And those are the 4 teams in the playoff. There's a good chance of that. I don't think USC or LSU or any of those other teams could even remotely try to jump Tennessee. The idea that LSU could jump Tennessee is nuts to me, especially after the 40-13 win in LSU by the Tennessee Volunteers. LSU has 2 losses. I just can't see, even if they are a 2-loss SEC champion, you got 2 losses. I mean, I don't know what else to say in that. And I don't think LSU beats Georgia in the national or in the SEC championship anyway. I'll take Georgia in 17 points in that game. LSU fans, go ahead and hit me up for that bet whenever it happens. I legitimately will take Georgia in 16.5. But wow, I think that's it. But we're gonna do the DMA read real quick, and then we've got those wonderful commercials that y'all are gonna hang out with. But Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. Commercial.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
Excuse me. Now, making my camera shake again. Now, I had to go back and look at the email that I'd sent to Justin as far as what my second take was going to be, because I'd almost forgot it, but there it is, Dansby Swanson. And this is going to be just a few things about free agency in general, but it's mainly about Dansby Swanson. I think I'm in the minority as a Braves fan when it comes to the fact that I don't want Dansby Swanson back, especially at the price tag that I'm seeing. I want to say David O'Brien, who is he used to write for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Now he writes for The Athletic. He covers the Braves. He knows as much about the Braves more than anybody else other than maybe Gabe Burns. But I don't want Dansby Swanson back at $20+ million a year. He is going to get $20 million. And David O'Brien said he might even get up to $25 million a year. That's insanity to me. That's just crazy talk, because I don't even think Austin Riley's going to make that much money. Dansby Swanson certainly doesn't deserve that much money. He's always been an under average hitter, in my opinion. He's I'll say he's above average defender. He makes all the plays he's supposed to make, but I don't think he makes a whole lot of extra plays. Now, this past season, he had a great season defensively. I think he was up for the Gold Glove, or if he may have won it, I'm not sure. But Dansby makes a lot of the plays that he's supposed to make. He doesn't make a lot of extra plays. And the bat, as good as it was this year, here's the thing, Braves fans, if he signs and goes somewhere else, he's going to have one great season, and then he's going to return back to Dansby Swanson. And there's just no reason to pay a shortstop $25 million a year when they hit 250 and 15 bombs. I don't think Dansby's worth that. I'd rather spend the extra $5 to $7 million per year, go out and get somebody like Trey Turner, who is a much better baseball player, can play different positions, can bat anywhere in your lineup. Turner's just an overall better player than Dansby Swanson. And Alex Anthopoulos is really smart with money. I think we saw how the whole Freddie Freeman thing worked out last year. I don't know if Dansby Swanson is going to get back with Atlanta, and quite frankly, I don't want him. Like I said, $20 million is crazy to me to give to Dansby Swanson, who Braves fans, you watch this guy. It feels like he's hitting 235 for his entire career, and he's a 20 home run dude. He may hit 30 home runs one year. He's going to knock in about 80 runs. He plays above average defense. you can't just throw out money to people like that. But I do think the Braves need to go out and get somebody. This is a loaded shortstop class. I know Correa's available. Bogarts is available. There are a few other names that are available at shortstop. I'd love to have Trey Turner. Here's the thing. It's not like, oh, well, we'll just have to take Dansby, because usually you would just take the guy you usually had because he's cheaper. I'm not sure how much cheaper Dansby Swanson is than the rest of these guys. And I'd rather go ahead and get a really good baseball player. And I don't think Dansby Swanson is a really good baseball player. I think he may be a leader, maybe a clubhouse guy. I think Dansby's a good person as far as what I know from him. He is a winner, won at Vanderbilt, won a World Series with Atlanta. I think there's something to be said for that. But $25 million for a guy that has struggled with his bat his entire career and he's above average defender is not going to work. And that's Alex Anthopoulos knows that. That's why the Braves are in World Series contention every year since he's gotten here. And I don't think he's going to make the mistake and give up too much money. Now, I said everything I want to say about Dansby, but we're going to stay with MLB free agency stuff. I got to read this. I don't know what it is, but I got some kind of notification on my phone that the Mets and the Yankees are going to be investigated for some sort of, I guess it's, I forget what you call it, but they were trying to talk to Aaron Judge before they were supposed to. I'm not really sure on all these rules. Some of the rules seem kind of goofy to me as far as when you can talk to people, when you can't. If they're in season, then yeah, that should be an issue. But there's too many rules to try and keep up with. So I want to see how that shakes out. It'd be cool if the Mets and the Yankees both had to give up like a draft pick and don't get to pursue him in free agency and wind up out in LA like everybody else. But there are a lot of free agents available. Texas Rangers have picked up a lot of traction to pick up Jacob deGrom, and I hate that because I was really hoping the Braves would pick up deGrom. I'd love to see the Braves pick up deGrom. If I had to pick, though, I'd take Trey Turner over everybody and then Jacob deGrom second. And if we just didn't spend another penny and we got both of those dudes, I'd be very happy. But I don't think that's going to happen, and that is a lot of money to spend, especially on one guy that Jacob deGrom, who's not healthy. He's just never healthy. Now, maybe he just needs to wear something other than a Mets jersey, and he would be healthy. But that's neither here nor there. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on into the third take, which is Titans. I just had to write something to put it down here or whatever. Titans do enough to win. That's exactly what they've been doing. They did a little bit more. They had to because Henry was held to like 60 yards or less. But Tannehill made some really nice throws. Tannehill also made some really, really bad throws. And I don't remember there being a whole lot of bad decisions, just really inaccurate passes, which I hate to see that. I mean, all these guys are professional. If you get somebody open, you hope your guy can hit them. Tannehill did throw a few bad passes, but in the end, it's a win. And Mike Vrabel is a miracle worker. I think the Titans roster is one of the worst in the bottom half, especially with everybody hurt. I think defensively, it's one of the best defensive rosters in all of football. But Monty Hooker hasn't played in what feels like a decade. Bud Dupree is always a health concern. Jeffrey was out last week, but Tyler Tart played really great in his absence. I think Tart is one of those hidden gems that John Robinson finds, and he's been a great football player since he got here. And I make a joke, he's the best coverage lineman in all of football. But Vrabel's a miracle worker. He's taking a roster that I don't think is very good. They're 6-3. They play the Packers tonight. The Packers aren't very good either, but Aaron Rodgers is going to pass for over 300 yards for the first time this season. I think we all know that's going to happen. Titans might still find a way to win just because that's how Vrabel is. But, folks, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, as long as Todd Downing is the offensive coordinator, I don't have any faith that this team can win in the playoffs. I have none. I think there are halfway decent athletes on the team. It was nice to have Traylon Burks back last week. Nick Westbrook-Akine made some really great catches. Again, though, well thrown balls. If Tannehill throws them where they need to be, Westbrook Akine made some nice catches. Traylon Burks can make some nice catches. So it's going to come down to a lot of things on the offense for me to feel a lot better, because I need to see Tannehill play better. I need to see people like the veteran wide receiver Robert Woods not drop passes over the middle. I'd love to see an offensive line that could pass block, but I haven't seen that in probably close to a decade and a half. Titans just line up and run the ball, which is cool. If you can run block, then run it with Derrick Henry. I love it. That's how you play football, especially in professional football. So, I'm still worried about the offense though, because I don't trust Todd Downing. And this is a tweet that I said last week during the game, and I've always been somebody that when there was a lot of criticism about a coach or something like that, I get a lot of it. Don't get me wrong. And I'm usually in on that. But sometimes I'm like, these football guys, they may not be as smart as the guy they're going up against, but they got to know more than I do. I'm just a sports reporter. I work for the Dixon Post, Cheatham Exchange. I cover high school football, high school sports. I'm just a sports reporter. I've always thought that these guys, they know more about football than I do. And I don't think that's the case about Todd Downing anymore. I've learned quite a bit more about football, and I've watched enough of him to know that I think he is a full-blown moron. I don't think he makes very good decisions. I don't think he puts the right guys on the field. I don't think he puts guys in a position to help them win. I don't care what Mike Vrabel says. I got all the respect in the world for Mike Vrabel. He is a straight dog. He is a winner. He is a leader of men. I love Mike Vrabel. But whatever love affair he's got with Todd Downing, and the reason why he just absolutely refuses to take any type of criticism of him, he won't even talk about it. He just says that's his guy until he's sticking with, which I get his coach speak, but it's kind of a weak response for me from Vrabel. Somebody very seriously needs to look into the future of Todd Downing's job if this type of offensive performance continues week in and week out. Now, if we see more of what we saw last week and Tannehill's hitting his passes and Downing's getting, calling a few plays that gets people open, I might change my tune. But as of right now, I don't believe Todd Downing should be an offensive coordinator, maybe for a middle school team, but not Tennessee. Again, I've always thought these football guys know more about football than I do. I don't think that's the case about Todd Downing. I don't think he really knows what he's doing. So hopefully the Titans can continue to win. That they find ways to do it. Like I said, God bless them. Mike Vrabel is a miracle worker. But Lord have mercy. These games are not nearly – they're just not as fun to watch as I wish they were. There's way too much pressure and adrenaline in what feels like every moment, and the Titans defense has to be so good week in and week out because the offense is so limited. Whether that's Tannehill or whether that's a bad offensive line or Todd Downing or a combination of said issues – they need to get it figured out because sure, you're going to beat up on teams that you should in the playoffs. You're going to win a division that sucks. You're going to get into the playoffs and then you're going to get creamed by a good football team that runs good plays and executes them. That's what's going to happen. And quite frankly, I'd just as soon the Titans figure it out, and that way maybe beat a few teams in the playoffs because that would be fun. Now, we're going to do one more DMA read, another round of those commercials, just in case you missed them the first time, you get to see them again. Lucky you, really. I mean, I'm lucky too I get to see them on this side. But Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. Commercial.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our number one priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and bring comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
Now we got through all those takes pretty quick, which is good because we've got a little bit of high school stuff to talk about. And then even if the show ends a little bit early today, I'm hungry and get to go have lunch. So let's get on into the high school sports stuff. Last week, there was nothing except bowling going on, which is great for me, being the bowling coach. The boys for Dickson County and Creekwood both went to the state individual qualifying tournament. And 3 Creekwood bowlers qualified, with Ryan Watts, Christian Baker, both qualifying, and Aiden Reimer qualified, finishing second. He averaged 233 throughout the day. Reimer was a machine. Nathan Wilkes qualified for Dixon. It's good to see the Cougars get one of the boys in there. These state tournaments at the end of the year, they're so much fun. So I know Coach Malone is going to enjoy going to that with Wilkes. So this week, a lot of the same for bowling. Let's see. Creekwood, who did we bowl? We bowled Portland. We bowled Portland on, I want to say it was Monday. The boys beat Portland 23-0. Impressive. The boys on my team, they took it personal. They didn't want to give up the shutout. They wanted to keep Portland at 0, and I was proud of them. Everybody on the team that was there bowled. I think that's the mark of a good team. You can throw anybody out there, and everybody's going to put up some stats, and that's what happened. So, congrats to my guys. Proud of those dudes again. They've been fun to watch all year long. I call myself a coach, but these kids, man, they know what they're doing. You know, sometimes you just got to stand out of the way and watch. That's what I try to do most of the time because they know what they're doing. They're pretty good. But this week, actually later today, in about an hour or so, I got to get ready to go to Smyrna. We're taking our Creekwood girls to go face off against Stewart's Creek, which is one of the teams that we saw in the TSSAA state tournament last year. So we're going to go bowl them, see what they got, see what our girls got. Our girls have been a little bit up and down so far to start the season, so we'd love to see a really good performance from them. Let's see. Ooh, I almost forgot. Basketball started this week. I was at Dickson County Tuesday for the Clarksville home opener. It was the Dickson home opener against Clarksville, excuse me. The Lady Cougars, I'll be honest, I expected Clarksville's got a girl named Amari Berry. She's got interest from Tennessee, South Carolina, and UConn. So you start saying those names with girls basketball, you know she's the real deal, and she is. She scored 44. Dickson only lost by 9. AC Milam, Jada Fan, Jenna Russell, the rest of those girls, they played really hard. The 2 freshmen I thought were really fun to watch. And if you're a Dickson County fan, you'll know the names, Keely Webb and Carly Stevenson. Webb scored 20 points. She was phenomenal. I texted Coach Webb, her mother, after the game the next day, actually, and me and Coach Webb talked about her daughter's performance, and it's got to be a really neat thing as a parent to see your kid go out there and excel like that in their first game as a high school player. And Carly Stevenson, like I said, she, of course, the granddaughter of great Coach Hamilton and the daughter of Coach Stevenson. She was phenomenal. She was really good too. And it's great to see these freshmen going out there and playing really well. Going to grow confidence for the future is the only thing it can do for the Lady Cougars. But they did lose. They only lost by 9, though, to a really, really good Clarksville team. Now, on the boys' end, Clarksville had been back-to-back TSSAA state tournament team. So I kind of thought Dickson would have its hands full, but Lord have mercy. Jay Palace, who took over the Dickson County boys team, he had a pretty good debut as a head coach for the basketball team. They beat Clarksville 80-49, and they just come flying out of the gate. And even he said, hey, we knocked down some shots that sometimes they won't go down, but everybody fed off of it. It was really fun to talk to Coach Palace after that. Of course, I'm a Dickson alum, so it was fun to see that place kind of rocking again. It's been a few years since it was, really hype and rocking like it should be. For the Creekwood games, that place is pretty packed. But I remember that place being absolutely jam-packed full of people for just Dixon games. And so it'd be nice to see that kind of get back to the old ways. But the boys, man, the Cougars look like they look like fun. They look like they were fun to watch Tuesday. So they've got a game tonight as well. I think Father Ryan is who they're going to face. I may have that completely wrong. I've got 12,000 different schedules going through my head. But I'll be at, of course, I got the bowling event later today. Tomorrow, I've got the state tournament qualifying individual thing for the girls. Same thing the boys did last week, but it's for the girls this week. So we're going to head back to Hendersonville tomorrow morning. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Going to head back to Hendersonville tomorrow morning with my girls and see if any of them can qualify for state tournament. We should have a few. So excited about that. Ready to see what happens. And then tomorrow night is when Cheatham and Creekwood face off, which should be a really, really fun game to watch. Coach Jim Gibbs, who is the only he's the only basketball state champion coach that I've ever covered. So he's gonna have his girls. They're gonna be ready to play Creekwood, who is a back-to-back state tournament team as well. Lady Redhawks, Brianna Burgess, who just signed with Trevecca, by the way. I got to talk to her tomorrow and get some quotes for that because I'd love to do a little story on that. And Laura Nichols. I think the offense is going to run through those two. Should be fun to watch. Let's see. Harpeth, I want to say Harpeth dropped both games at Greenbrier Tuesday. Sycamore dropped both games at Springfield Tuesday. Cheatham won both games against Hoomfog last night. I don't know why they played on Wednesday, but they played last night. Cheatham took both games. So Friday, Creekwood Cheatham's going to be the next game coming up. Wrestling's right around the corner. Bowling is hopping right now. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. This wound up being a fairly decent show. I was able to extend that last part a little bit. But y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. You got anything you want to complain about? Follow me on Twitter, CVP51. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm right. Whatever you want. Doesn't matter. But we'll see y'all next week.